Guys, who's fired up to do some podcasting? What kind of energy do you feel when you're gonna just podcast the shit out of something?
I'm gonna do it. I raced downstairs. I didn't even take a shower. I put my headphones on. I saw you guys. I got really excited. We're gonna chat today, and then I'm gonna take a shower.
You don't have anything prepared for this cold open?
You didn't eat anything?
No, I usually have hot cocoa.
What are you holding in your hand?
Yeah.
It's
That's for his little
for the
wrist
keyboard.
when he's typing. Do you do that much typing where you need a little pad
no,
for your wrists?
I just had I had carpal tunnel in my hands.
And then what happened? You decided to use the other hand. All right, good for you. Welcome to SmartLess.
SmartLess.
So we already know that our mystery guest is a female, and she's no stranger to a giggle. She keeps it light.
She likes to giggle.
Yeah,
Again.
and that's what we know so far. So,
Are you doing early guessing game?
yeah, let's start. You know what? We've never give me the first letter of the first name.
No.
Okay, first letter of the last name.
No.
Okay,
I'm giving you not yet.
Jesus.
No.
all right.
I just decided, I was like, you know what?
You know what? No.
And then I should go yes and I should right and I should play.
Yeah.
I'm just no.
All right. Well, then let's get into our opening patter.
Or some patter.
Sean, do you have anything prepared?
I
Here
don't
we
have
go. And
anything
access the
prepared.
file.
But I'm drinking tea. I was going to ask you, do you leave your tea bags in or do you take them out? Today mine are in.
There's something sexual
Okay,
about
I know
that.
there is
Yeah.
something.
When's the last time you were teabagged in or out?
Was it teabag in? Now, Sean, are you a little bit under the weather?
He is.
I was just telling Jason, I hope I didn't get you guys sick on Tuesday.
And I
But I don't
reminded
think I did.
I reminded him that there was no open mouth kissing
Yeah,
at all.
It was all closed.
I kept asking you actually to stop kissing and don't look at me.
Because you usually say eyes on me, open
Yeah.
eyes, eyes on me.
Eyes, please. Eyes,
Eyes.
please.
Hey, that's a good question. When you guys kiss your significant other, do you keep your eyes open or do you close them?
Whole time.
Whole time
Really?
open?
The whole
That's
time
so
open. Wide
creepy.
open. Looking.
Yeah.
React,
You know what I
looking
like
for
to do?
reaction.
I like to stare right into the makeup artist's eyes when they're powdering me. It really freaks them out. Yeah, no blinking, just hard eye contact when they're powdering me. Tracy, getting powdered is something that's common and not freaky for people in front of the camera.
But Jason, you famously don't wear a lot of makeup when you do your gigs.
Well, the stuff I've been doing lately, you're not meant to look healthy or happy.
You got that covered.
And that role you've been playing for 20 years?
Yeah, I'm going into a new thing, where I just don't think I'm going to be much in the makeup trailer at all.
Yeah. You got a real look going these days.
I know, right? This stupid hair. I think I do need to get it thinned out. It's
No. Oh, what a
gross.
bummer. Hair is too thick.
It's too thick.
I mean, now,
By the way,
Shawnee, I noticed you sneezing.
No, I coughed. That was a cough.
Oh, that was a cough. Your cough.
Yeah, but I'm
sounds
saying
lovely.
if you guys
Real
don't
manly.
feel anything by Saturday or Sunday, you're in the clear.
Okay.
I got to wait. There's a 5-day incubation period
Yeah.
on your virus.
Yeah.
Great.
No, I think we're fine. I think
All
we're
right,
all
good.
right. What about Scotty? Does he have it?
He had it before, but I didn't get sick from him.
Well, we know
Interesting.
why.
Yeah. Why? 'Cause I don't look him
Listener,
in the eye.
Sean's really on the skids with Scotty. And
Yeah.
there's a countdown for the no,
I'll be
kidding.
available any minute.
No, you guys are
Oh, stop
about the best
saying
couple I've ever met.
I know.
Well,
I'm
we
jealous.
all have great partners.
We do. And I was describing Scotty the other day to somebody's asking me, and I said, he's just the nicest, sweetest dude. He's so considerate.
He is, and he looks like a box. He's in the shape of a box.
Okay. Well, I mean,
Something.
I didn't get into that, but,
A boxy bear.
but he is such a sweet, sort of legitimately like considerate person.
Yeah, he's the nicest person I've ever met.
And not from Canada.
I know.
Shocking.
I know. You'd think he would be.
Shockingly, I know.
Because all those Canadians are super nice.
Will introduced Sean and I to a couple of Canadians the other day who were just like right out of the middle of the page for like,
Yeah.
Well-intentioned.
People tell you Canadians are friendly, but like, I don't know. Well, then you meet them. It's like, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
they're
just-
all like the nicest people in the world.
I know.
And it's not learned. It's not contrived. It's just so genuine.
Yeah.
Well, you know, Paul is Canadian, but Jenny's American, but has lived
I
in
wasn't
Canada
getting
more.
as nice a vibe off of her. Yeah, that's interesting. That's a good point.
You're getting a selfish, kind of self-absorbed.
tell you
Something
what.
domestic, yeah.
I tell you, he's got a pretty good vibe.
Oh, nice.
This
segue.
is the segue. Here comes Giggles.
Tell you who's got a pretty good vibe is our guest today. Do you like people who can do different things?
She is a juggler from
You
northern
like people who
Saskatchewan.
They can go on to Broadway. Sean, you like Broadway?
Oh, yeah.
They can go to Broadway. They can sing songs. They can sell records. They can sell 25 million albums worldwide, 40 million singles.
What?
Have a multi-Emmy award-winning daytime talk show. Can be really plugged into the heart of America because this person was found and discovered in the heart of America. She's one of the most
I know
successful
exactly.
Kelly
singers
Clarkson.
of all time. Yes, guys, it's Kelly Clarkson.
Yeah, I got it. Hi, Kelly.
I was like, hello.
Willie guessed my guess the other day. Now I got you back.
I know you did. You did. Hi, Kelly Clarkson.
Hi, Kelly.
Kelly Clarkson.
Kelly, I haven't seen you since Saturday Night Live, maybe?
Oh my gosh. I was gonna bring it up. I don't even know if you I don't know if you remember that I was on there with you, but
Of course.
I was terrified of you.
Oh,
Welcome to
I
the
was,
club.
No,
I
you
was
were nice.
terrified. I was
No,
terrified
you
of you.
were
and
so
the-
nice.
What about the whole
I was like,
experience?
I remember telling my band, I was like, I had like a whole prep talk. I was like, don't fucking talk. You're gonna say something stupid. I was like, just smile and just stand there. And I was like very nervous.
Oh, that whole week I was petrified.
Was that your first?
Oh, you did amazing, and you were so nice. I just think when you are a fan of someone, so much so, and you love their like personality, and you're very charismatic, you're very funny and quick, and so I was like, just don't say something stupid.
Well, you might.
I don't think I even spoke much to you.
Yeah, and
You
now
might.
can
You might
rethink
want to
it all.
withhold on the personality part because you know what I mean. Just give
Oh,
it a
I
minute.
like a dry wit asshole, so he's right down the.
Oh well, then,
Welcome-
oh, you're
welcome
gonna
to
love him. Oh,
SmartLess.
you're gonna love him. You're gonna love him.
Welcome to SmartLess.
Sorry,
Yeah,
you're gonna
no.
love him. You're gonna love him. You're gonna love him.
Yeah.
Now, I have a question about, like, I remember, I'm so sorry you get these questions all the time.
That's okay.
But-
Sean. Go ahead.
When in 1999 or 2000 when American Idol first started, and then I remember Megan Mullally, who I did Will and Grace with.
Yeah.
She's like, you got to come watch. And I didn't watch the show until like the
Remind
last.
Tracy what Will and Grace is.
I'm telling you, I love her and Nick. I'm obsessed with
Yeah,
them.
they're great.
Yeah.
I know, I love them too. And Megan called me in her dressing room. She's like, you got to watch this show. I'm like, what is it? It's American Idol. And of course, everybody knows the story. You know, little town girl makes it big on the show and then becomes this big pop star, blah, blah. So, but there's a sense that I've always felt around you that America is like you're ours. Like, do you constantly get bombarded by people who feel like they had a hand in your success?
Absolutely. But I mean, that's a very true statement. So,
For all of us, really.
Yeah, I mean, I think
where
it's
would
true
we be
for-
without
Yeah.
the American audience?
But I mean that show is so massive, and it was, and you were the first one, and then so you're easy to root for because everybody loves you and you're so likable, and I love you, and
debatable,
no-
but yes.
and but to see you go from the little town girl that nobody knew to every single thing that you conquered over the years, I imagine people come up to you on the street and just be like, have a sense of ownership almost in a different way.
Yeah, I mean, I think it works for me because, like I said, I'm from a very small town. So, so I'm kind of used to like that. Like even doing like talent shows as a kid, or like even doing musicals, or you know, I'm kind of used to like everyone knowing your name. It's like Cheers, you know. Like I'm used to that vibe, and I think that's why people are always like, "Oh, you're so." You know, open with like any human. I'm like, yeah, we're
And
really
on your
all
talk
the
show,
same.
you're very open. You talk about everything.
Yeah, I
love
do.
that, Kelly. You're just like, well, it's not really that much of an effort to not be an asshole. Like,
Yeah, it's
what
like-
are you saying? We're all
Well, it
the
depends on the person, Jason.
Right.
Sometimes there's a lot of effort.
Yeah.
But no, it's like I think because I have that small town mentality,
Yeah.
it's always been very easy for me, and I don't mind. Like I still at 41, like will be at Walmart in Butte, Montana, and go, thank you. Because they're like, oh, I voted for you. And I'm like, thank you. That changed my life. I was a pretty great, solid waitress, but like, I really like what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
You're like,
Incredible.
thank you, but you're blocking my Range Rover. Okay. No, wait, Kelly. So speaking of that, like we're on that sort of the American Idol thing, and I watched you too, like everybody when especially that first season.
Yeah.
And you were undoubtedly I would say, and I might get some pushback. I think you're the greatest American Idol that there ever was. You were the first, and you were the best by far.
I would not argue.
Also concur.
I'm just kidding.
I know you would. And you've got
I'm just kidding.
No, but you legitimately have a
without
great voice.
such a discovery, would that show have really carried on to the heights that it was? Like, look what they can find.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, believe me, it's taking everything I got right now. The entire time, I just want to go, since you've been gone. Anyway, but and I love. But what was that process for you? How did that come about, American Idol? Like, what you saw an ad in a paper. It was on Craigslist.
No.
Like, how did that go down?
Oh my God, Craigslist was not around.
Was it not 2001?
Was it
2001 too?
Wait, let me see. Can I see if I can get this right?
Yes.
Well,
friend-
I'd
a
rather
friend-
have her answer it, but okay.
No, but wait.
I'm curious to know if you know it.
Craigslist.
A friend challenged you, or like to go on, and if you went on and got on or won or something, you'd get her a car or something like that.
Something like that. Yes. I literally, my place had burned down, the Croft Apartments off of Melrose. And it literally, the day we moved in, we had moved from this other place, and the day we moved in, it burned down. And I ended up having to sleep in my car for like 3 days. And I was like, okay, I can't I can't sustain this. So my plan was to go back home to Texas, make some more money, come out, because I don't know if y'all know, but it's expensive to live in Los Angeles, especially when broke with 3 jobs. And anyway, so on my way home, one of my friends, Jessica, told me about this audition. And
on your way home from one of your jobs, is that what it was?
like on my way home from California to Texas.
To Texas. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, it was
Sorry
like
to
right after and so I got home and I didn't know what it was. I didn't even know it was a TV show till like the 3rd audition. Because they have you go, and they had us go in like these just random rooms, like in like for producers, and you don't know anybody, you don't know what they're doing. Nobody had heard of Pop Idol, which there had been 1 season of Pop Idol in the UK.
Yeah.
Nobody knew that. And so I didn't know what it was. And anyway, I told after I made it through the first like rounds or whatever, I told Jebby, I was like, because honestly, I didn't think I'd win.
Yeah,
but I was like, yeah, I'll totally buy you a car if I win. I won. So I bought her the car.
That's amazing.
What'd you get her? Was it a new car?
It was like her dream car. I think it was like a Firebird or something. It was like over 20 years ago, but I believe it was like a Firebird or something.
Firebird.
Yeah, it was like something, or not a Firebird. No,
It's like a Mustang.
Miata.
a Mustang. I don't remember what it was. It was like a sports car, but it was like badass. But I'm not into sports cars.
Were you surprised that you won, or had you already experienced a pretty good level of success locally?
No, I mean, I was surprised. I'd won like the Burleson talent show.
Yeah,
like,
right.
Wow.
Like, but like exactly prestigious. But when you're, a kid, you do those kind of things. And I'd had like some success in the sense of like, following through on some dreams that I had like locally, but like when I was a kid, but no, I mean, I'd never won anything of like real importance or done anything. And I am like a wallflower generally. Like nobody even knows I'm in the room generally. So I did not think I was going to win that.
What was the process? So from the first audition, so you heard about this audition where they were going to have, you didn't know it was a show. It was just, they were looking for singers is what you heard. Is that right?
Yeah.
And so you go into, you audition in Texas. And you go to the first audition, from the first audition to winning, how long was that process?
Oh, like within like a year. Like it was months because it was the first season and they were still putting it all together, and it was an English-based company, so people were coming in and out.
Are you singing the same song in every stage, every audition?
They'd like you to, or they did. They asked us to. I was about to sing. I'd said yes to singing at someone's wedding, and I was singing it last. They wanted me to sing it last, and so I think I sang it last for the first 3. And then they showed this on YouTube, I think, or released it sometime. But then they asked me to sing something faster. And I was like sing anything but the Moulin Rouge song because everyone was singing Itchy Gitchy Ya Ya Da Da.
Yeah.
I was like,
right.
I literally in that I was like, anything will do but that song because everyone was singing it. So I went into some Madonna song, which was random because normally I don't generally sing Madonna, but.
So within a year, you go from driving home so you can make more money so you don't have to live in your car to being an international superstar. And that kind of whiplash on your life, forget professionally.
Yeah.
The whiplash on you sort of spiritually, emotionally, all that kind of stuff.
The weight of it.
The weight of it. And some people might say, oh, poor Kelly Clarkson, you became rich and famous in a year.
I'm
Whatever.
one of those people too, by the way.
Of course.
So,
but it
Was
is
that Jane Buffett that you were just quoting?
That was
Will?
Jane Buffett. That was my good friend Jane Buffett. No, she never said that. Jane.
No, but that's just a great Jane accent.
I know, she's the best. What was that like, Kelly, for you? Like sort of not the day after you win, but in the sort of the time after as your life just has a dramatic shift. What was that like for you as a person, as a human being walking this planet?
Really cool moments and then like a lot of not great ones. So I think
Scary?
I'm a very trusting person. Well, I think the scary part comes when it's more the human factor. It's not the working. I've always had like 3 or 4 jobs at a time. I've always enjoyed being busy. I like being productive. So, that wasn't it wasn't so much the scheduling was intense, but it wasn't too much. It's the human factor. It's the lying and it's the people, it's like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
It's the lying, like literally that really got me down. The human factor got me down.
Yeah, there was an article written in this old paper in LA. I don't even think they print it anymore, called the LA Weekly. This is like, 30 years ago. That's like a cover story called The Fine Art of Lying. And talking about the relevance and the necessity of it, specifically in the entertainment industry. I'm sure it's pervasive in other industries as well, but specifically that they cited all these examples. And it's really true. I have become sort of immune or sort of numb to it. But if you really think about it, if you think about your conversations with your team, with the other people that you work with, there is a level of lying that I myself do as well that you kind of have to do just to protect the people's feelings that you love in this business. Because there's so much rejection. There's so much sort of, it's not a fit, blah, 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 that you have to, if you're empathetic at all, reshape and sort of tell what I like to think are white lies. But you do have to get used to it.
I don't know. You do get used to it, but I don't think that you are numb to it. I mean, I know.
But what do you mean? Lies about what? Like,
well, lies about your. Hey, I saw your movie the other day. Oh yeah, what'd you think? Now, if you didn't like it, but you're friends with that person. Yeah. Now, obviously, this is not some big thing that I'm revealing, but there is sort of I find that there is a lot of it that you need to do in this town if you care about the people that you're talking to, because there's so much rejection.
Everybody works hard
and difference of opinion. Yeah.
By the way, I for what it's worth, I loved Goodnight Oscar.
Oh yes,
I just want to say that.
I think I liked it more.
I loved it a lot,
Will.
Sean. I thought you were so good
Sean,
in it.
So
I
gifted.
loved it. Good night, Oscar. What a tribute. No, but Kelly, I was going to say, well, you touched on something which is. But and kind of actually going on what Sean said, which is that you belong. There is that feeling of like you. I think a lot of Americans identified with you because you were the first person who kind of was plucked out of oblivion and became a superstar. Yeah. And I guess that's what I'm wondering about is after that, you are, because people felt a certain sense of ownership
and a proxy of like the American dream.
Yeah. So how hard is that?
That's not hard. Like that's not. I mean, I get that. I don't know how, but I still like, I can still like be objective and go, man, that's incredible that someone made it in that sense. Like, what I'm saying? Right. That's like, and it kind of, I think what it did just for speaking to people and meet and greets and whatnot for years and years is it really gave people like it kind of gave people that thing of like, no, really, you can accomplish anything. Like your dreams, whatever it is, you could actually make this happen. Like this person was from nowhere, like a cocktail waitress, like, nowhere near making it.
And they actually filmed that stuff, right? They deliver your story to, much like they do in the Olympics. They deliver your story to, and then boom, they go live. Here's her singing on stage.
Yeah, and I think people relate to that. I think people think, maybe I can still do that, or that could be me. I think that it like has this sense of hope with it.
Aspirational.
Vicarious.
Yeah, well, Sean used to do a lot of meet and beats, right?
Yeah, I used to.
No, sorry. She said meet and greet. Will.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah,
sorry.
Well done. Good for you, Sean.
Thank you, Cal. So, listen. Do you remember when you first started? Immersing yourself into the world of Hollywood and Los Angeles and all that. Do you remember what was kind of foreign to you that you were like, oh, I didn't know you needed makeup every single time on the. Oh, I didn't know.
Oh,
camera
I
worked
got
like
in
that.
trouble on American Idol. They were like, so we're about to be on camera, and I was like, I know, and they were like, but you're going to be on camera, and I was like, I know, and it was like, okay, well, do you want any like makeup or hair done? And I was like, no, I'm in a house right now. You're doing like behind the scenes. Like I was like, I'm not on stage. Like I was like, I mean, I'll do it for stage. I was like, but why are we doing this and that? The one producer in particular, very high up, was not a fan of me just because I didn't play that game. And it wasn't even playing the game. Like the other 4 girls that season were very into, that stuff. They were very into
the glam of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like the most amazing person to tour with for those girls because I was never in the makeup and hair chair. Like I was like, they would have to force me to like sit there because I'm highly allergic. Anything that gets near my eyes, vegan, whoever's brand that says whatever, it still sucks for my eyes. And anyway, so I don't like wearing it. I don't enjoy wearing it. And so that was a big thing.
Well, you can't pry me out of the chair, Yeah, no. I need it. I do need it.
And that's the thing. Like I adore the people I work with. Even my makeup artist, I love her so much. I was laughing at Jason saying you often like stare directly in their eyes to make it. Yeah. We have so many like inside jokes. It's such an intimate setting. Like we're such close friends just because of that. Like, but so I love, the art of it. I love how creative people can be. It's just not my thing.
Right. So then you don't do it, or you're sort of resistant to it for all the reasons you just outlined. Then you win American Idol. Now you're a pop star, and now you've got to release record after record, which you do incredibly successfully. So just talk to us a little bit about that.
And singing in front of thousands of people.
Exactly. I'm fascinated by all of a sudden now you're a mega star sort of overnight. Not really. Now, of course, people don't realize that you've been working for years trying to do it. And you want to be
but it was overnight. I'm okay with that.
Okay. And then, and then, thank you for letting me off the hook. And then you all of a sudden it's like, okay, so you win, that's huge, and now you got to record a record, right? You got to you go right into making a record. Is that how it went?
Yeah, and it was bumpy from the beginning. Yeah, just because nobody knew what to do with me because I liked a lot of different genres of music, and everybody kind of had a different plan, and nobody knew that it would be successful. In their defense, they didn't. They were like, yeah, this kid from this show, like, I understand that. And understood it then as well, by the way. But it was a little bumpy. And then people don't know this, but it wasn't Clive right off the bat. Like there was another person running the label.
Clive Davis. Yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't him running the label. I didn't make my first record with him.
Yeah.
So anyway, it was just kind of rocky from the beginning. There was a changing of hands, like a, baton passing with the label. There's a lot going on. Nobody knew what to do. Like it was a crazy, like I think people thought, oh, right off the bat, she like had all this money to do it. No, everybody was plugging in our own gear at state fairs and cow shit and like doing state fair. Like we were, like it wasn't right off the bat.
Who was producing the record for you then? At that point, who were you, like what was that process?
I can't remember. I think it was Peterson. I can't remember his name. It was, but it was a long time ago. But he was right in the beginning. He was very nice. Like right in the beginning, I'd met him once, and really it was just us in the studio, and they were kind of setting me up with different producers and different writers and stuff. And
and did you write these songs, or were these songs that were written by? Because a lot of artists I've learned very late in life, some of them write their own music and they perform their music, and then others, no better, no worse, they take songs that are already written by somebody who doesn't know how to sing, and then they
Didn't you sing an Avril Lavigne song?
Yeah, I've sang a Katie's song, Christina's song, Sia, Pink, Avril. I love writing, and I've been writing since my first album. I've always written on all my records, and I've also always just loved finding songs that I feel like I was intended to be the vessel for. Like I love,
a combo.
I mean, I love interpretation. So, I mean, obviously, even from the talk show, if we skip ahead, like I love taking a song and even flipping it, like the production. I love storytelling. I don't like acting in the way of storytelling. I like watching it, but I like singing and acting in that sense, and with storytelling, and that's always been like a love of mine. So I've done both since the very beginning.
What about that? What about? Sorry, Shani. What? Did you ever see a movie called Into the Woods? I love that movie.
Yeah, with
James Corden,
Meryl Streep, Emily Blunt, James Corden.
Yeah. Like, would you ever be excited if somebody brought you something like that, where there's a little bit of acting, but a lot of singing as well, like singing acting?
Also known as a musical movie. Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry.
Well, it was based on a musical.
There's a whole genre.
Right. There was a musical.
There's a guy named Stephen Sondheim, I hear, is really starting to take off.
He's gonna make
up
it.
and coming.
Jason, do some singing acting for us real quick. I want to see some singing.
Hello, I'm hungry.
Nice.
Something like that?
You could sing, Jay.
Well, that's not acting because we know you're hungry.
Yeah.
I would maybe do something like that, but I think I'm like such a fan of what y'all can do. Like, I think it's interesting when actors, especially having this talk show, like I meet actors a lot, and I never was around actors, only musicians generally. And we're always like looking at the other pasture. Like everybody says it's always greener. You know, everybody's like, oh my God, I'm such a fan of what you do. It's so like what y'all do is incredible to me. The fact that you can run lines like that, do the same emotion over and over again, whatever it's serious or funny or whatever, and it doesn't wear you out or get monotonous is beyond to me.
Right. I feel the same way about musicians. I do. I'm in awe of what you do. Your ability to...
No, but I find that that's the case, right? So but I have such an appreciation for it, and I've never I did know the winner of American Idol. We found out like around the top 5 that in that little fine print that we signed for the contract, the winner would have to do this movie. And I literally have cried like so hard to get out of that. Like, cause I did not want to do it. I did not think it was good. Neither did anyone else. And I did not want to act like that. Like that was not my goal.
Did you have to?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I bought the first ticket. I was right in the theater.
I had to do it. Yeah.
Loved
and
it.
it's not like I was like trying to, poo-poo on it or whatever. It's just I was so worried because my goal was to sing and tour and do stuff like that. And so I was so worried that it was going to ruin any chance of me being taken seriously as an artist. So I begged my label to at least let me put my single out. Like, just let me get a single out. Let me have a chance, before this comes out. And they did. So I think that's what saved me, was that first single.
What level of pride do you allow yourself to feel that you have taken in 20 years, a great step through a door that wasn't pried open for you by anybody else? I mean, you did that part too. But once you had that platform and all this capital, that you were able to build on it, diversify it, and parlay it into this massive, legitimate career, such that some people would be really interested to hear that you got started on American Idol. It's much the same way, there's all these people that started on Star Search. It's like, wait, what?
Yeah, there are a lot of kids who bought your records who didn't watch you on Idol, right, Jay? Is that what you're getting at? Like, there are a lot of people who are fans of yours who don't know that.
Yeah, exactly. And my question is, have you sort of just out of admirable humility, lost? Are you allowed to feel? Do you allow yourself to feel the pride that I think you deserve, that you've done so much with that moment that frankly some others have not, from American Idol or any of the other shows?
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, what I'm most proud of is, even if this, like, I've been told in this business, like, well, you're a sinking ship, and I was like, okay, cool. But as long as I'm at the helm, I'm cool with that. Like, as long as somebody else isn't driving it, like, that's cool. Like, I think that's what I take pride in, is like, look, it hasn't been a perfect career. It's obviously been like this, but like, it's been perfect for me in the sense of like every decision I've made and everything I've done, it's because I wanted to do it regardless of the outcome. And I think I'm proud of the fact that I don't let pride or ego or even shame, if that comes in, at some point when something, or any of that, I don't let that get in the way of it.
So how did you learn that? Because you were, like you said, 19 and now you're 40, whatever. How did you learn how to weed out the good from the bad as you entered the business?
childhood trauma. I think, no, I honestly, that's why people always ask me about my kids and being in the business. I'm like, I mean, good for them if they want to do it. I just think because of how I was set up from a very young person and like, and hearing the things that happen or, whatever my life did, happened and having to navigate that, I think definitely prepared me for the industry and prepared me for a spotlight to be okay to be me, like regardless if you're into it or not, like that everybody likes something different, art is subjective, but like I think that is fucked up as that sounds. I think a lot of like the traumatic things that happened to me when I was younger really not only built a thicker skin, but I think it also, when let's say you hear from like someone that's supposed to love you the most, you know what I'm saying, in life, and you're like, you didn't quite, that you weren't good enough. I think that when that happens, you're like, well, I'm never going to please anyone. So like, why even aim for it? I'm just going to have a good time. Like, fuck it. I'm just going to like do what I love to do.
That's interesting.
And cause when that person that, or people that are supposed to be there for you the most, like when you get let down, and I know that sounds dark, but when that happens, I think in your head, you're like, okay, well then maybe life isn't so about just aiming to please everyone or aiming to receive something. Maybe you just do it because you want to do it. And you never know how many trips around the sun you get. You might as well try whatever you want.
I think the same way.
I mean, or maybe even said differently, if you agree that it sets you up. The necessity becomes being self-sufficient. If you can't rely on those closest to you at certain times, then you learn, well, then I just have to make myself happy. I've got
it's
that
like survival.
barred. Yeah, and it's because I was going to say, and Sean beat me to the question, like you are so clearly comfortable in your skin and shitty word, I don't have a better one, but you're just lovely and like, well,
no, I'm kidding.
But it's like who, I was going to ask you, who can you attribute that to? I mean, do you have...
Yeah, like, because you didn't become a drug addict. You didn't become this or that.
Yeah, did you have a great parents or parent or uncle or something that really showed you kind of this North Star of like, well, wow, look at the adversity they've gone through and they're still able to be, loving and giving and warm and open to the people they care about, and they're not walking around embittered and aggrieved, and like it's just you seem to really have taken whatever negatives you went through, and I'm not prying for those, but you seem to have turned them into a positive, and that just taught you coping mechanisms that have yielded this nice balanced personality and vibe. It seems like, yeah.
Yeah, I think for me,
that's
it
our
wasn't
time.
Like one.
Thank you so much, Kelly.
that I think for me, it wasn't one person. I think it's a village, right, that raises any kid. Like, I don't think it's, people are always like, oh, it's my mom or it's my dad or it's, whatever. Yeah. I think obviously that probably is true, but I also think we are raised by our surroundings, regardless, your teachers, your 100%. Coaches in sports, like all your other friends' parents, like and I think for some reason, I don't know why or how, but I don't know, I kind of navigated people in a sense of like, I'm going to take I love that part of you. Like, that's a really cool thing. Like I don't have a lot of positive experiences with this one person in my life that I won't mention, but the one thing I will say for them is they were always highly complimentary of people, even if it was fake or whatever for them. But like growing up, I saw how it made people feel. Yeah. And I was like, oh, that's lovely, for lack of a better word. That's like to make someone feel, and I stole that, like, for my person. And I was like, yes, I like that. I like to make people feel like that. I like to compliment people.
But you know what, Kelly, there's a real wisdom to that, which is, and Sean, you always say it takes a village, people. But there's a wisdom to this idea that whatever you put out in life is what you're going to get back, right? And so
I believe that.
I have no idea who you're talking about or what they're like as a person. They might be a terrible person, but at least in that aspect.
They weren't great.
And if you sometimes that feeling of loving somebody, no matter what, will increase the chances of you getting love back. And that feeling of hurt or whatever comes from a lack of actually putting love out. And I think that there's a balance there. There's like And when it comes to people too, you sort of start to identify. I know that as I get older, I identify the people in my life where I make a conscious effort to surround myself and to spend time with people that I love and I know love me, and then my experience is better. These guys on this, here with us today are two great examples. I probably don't spend more time with anybody than these two guys, in my sort of, and because I love them and they love me. And so that's a positive experience.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to the show. I would imagine, do you love it as much as you seem? I mean, it's like, it seems like
Can we
it's
go
just a
back further,
fantastic
JB?
fit for you. Yeah.
Can we go back to like how did that happen? You're Kelly Clarkson. You have so many different phases to your life. You're Kelly Clarkson, aspiring singer. You're Kelly Clarkson, rock star.
Yeah, not since Arnold Schwarzenegger have you conquered
millions
all these.
of albums. And then all of a sudden, you're like, what? One day you wake up and you're like, man, you're looking out the window. You're like, I'm gonna have a talk show.
No,
Yeah.
no, I said no the first 2 times. Like, so I was on The Voice, and I love NBC. I have a really healthy relationship with them. Well, they don't lie, so I like that. I've tried to surround myself with people that are just feed it to me. But I had a really good experience on that show with that crew, with those executives, and they, came to the studio. I was doing something at the recording studio, and they came and they're like, we really feel like you would be really good at this. And I was like, I really am not a journalist or a comedian, and there's like no reason for me to be doing that. Like, I just don't think that's a good plan, if I'm being frank. And then I said no, and then I said no again, and then all of a sudden it was just, and it was actually my ex who, we were just laying in bed, and he was like, I really feel like you'd be really good at it because you're really good with people. You're really good at talking. I don't think it's going to be like a job for you. Right. It's like, I think you just are really, good at that. And why not just try it? And I was like, all right, whatever. So I was like, okay, cool. I'll try it. And I will say, even from and I say this with without trying to sound any other kind of way, but like, a lot of people will be like, oh, it's really hard. It's really not. It's like the easiest job I've ever had. Like, I know that sounds like nobody wants to hear that.
Because you're naturally charismatic and friendly and interested and curious. And it's like, you've got people skills because you're not a dick. I mean, like,
well, thank you. But I don't know. It just is not like, the hardest part of my talk show is just that I was like, hey, I have this idea. We can open with a song before, and I could elevate, other artists that I love or whatever, and do covers and whatever. And that's the hardest thing. It's like 180, and it's always like trying to figure out, clearing songs. Like, that's the hardest part of the show, is just getting that, because there's no rehearsal time. It is literally like camp, like, when you're a kid and they're like, get on stage, improv it. Like, what I'm saying? We literally don't rehearse it. We just do it, it's the craziest thing ever. So that part is like the hardest part. The talking part is so easy. Well, except I know you've probably, well, maybe not, because you're like super successful. So, but like, have you ever interviewed someone and you're just like, okay, so that's
buddy, you got to talk. It's not yes or no time.
You sell your shit,
right? You're not doing me a favor by sitting on the couch.
That can be hard sometimes. I'm like, wow, do say more. That can be tough. But for the most part, I'm pretty good with people. So it's really like the easiest. Like, I can't even believe we're in season 5 right now. It feels like not that long.
That's so amazing. Yeah.
But it's just a fun job. And honestly, the support because I literally told NBC, I was like, I'm not trying to slap a gift horse in the face, mouth, whatever you say, whatever the saying is. I was like, I'm not happy here. I can't continue doing this. And I don't want to I know everybody's put a lot of money and time and we're winning and we're doing well. I was like, but I can't continue this. I got to get out of here. And so they were really cool about moving the show for me.
That's really great.
Which is huge. By the way,
30 Rock.
To 30 Rock. That's insane. Do you look a gift horse in the mouth? Do you know what that expression is? Do you know what it comes from?
I do.
Do you?
Yeah, if somebody, it goes back to somebody, you give somebody a horse and you look in the teeth, and if the teeth are bad, then you say no thank you.
You see how old, you can see how old a horse is and the overall health of a horse. Mm-hmm. And so if somebody gives you one and you go, yeah, I'll take the gift, but hang on, let me look inside. And then Yeah. So you're looking at the.
That's
It's
really
rude.
interesting.
Look at that. The more you know. Look at that.
Remember those shooting
I
stars?
didn't know that Jason would know that. I love you, Jason.
I'm sneaky smart.
I know you are sneaky smart. You're not sneaky smart. You're playing smart. Hey, so Kelly, you're now at 30 Rock, which must feel like. Has it set in?
Well, you know what's so funny is I've been going there so much for over 20 years that like for promotion stuff and just in and out of the building that it oddly felt very normal right off the bat. Yeah. I mean, you walk around like for some reason my key like never works. They just don't want to let me in the building. And I always have to go to this one area and get another one. And when you go there, there's all these images that kind of change of all the things that have happened historically in that building. Yeah. And it's so cool. Like I get the gift of it and I'm very, grateful for it, but it feels really normal. Like we've been there the whole time.
What floor are you on? Are you on 6?
I'm right across from Jimmy.
You are?
Literally.
Okay.
Jimmy Fallon. Yeah.
From Jimmy. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Sean.
For Tracy, Jimmy Fallon. Yeah.
Jimmy Fallon.
I'm so jealous. It's such a dream of mine to live in New York, work at 30 Rock on something that is every day. Like, I swear to God, I've wanted that since I was,
really?
a young kid. Like going to New York for work and going to 30 Rock. I just think that building is incredible. The whole area around it, even like the ice, all the closed off streets. There's something
basement
about
level of all the things happening that I never knew the city underneath. I was like, what?
It's
Jason,
incredible.
are you crying right now?
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
No,
hey,
it
by
is.
the way,
I will
I'm going to
say
help
this,
you
like-
out. Sorry, go ahead, Kelly. I was going to.
Oh no, I was gonna say I will say it's how you're describing it. It is movie-like. Like I walk home every day from work, and it's the coolest thing ever. You put your headphones in. I'm usually listening to what I'm supposed to be seeing the next day. But you walk home, you go out of the building. This historical, cool building, the city. Everybody's got their own vibe going on. Everybody's got their own lives.
Different
Everybody's doing their own thing. You put different industries, not just the one like in LA. And and you put your headphones in and you walk home and it's like a 35-minute walk home. And so it's nice, it's lovely, and you're walking through the park and it's really like so I don't know, the older we get, I sound like an old person, but the older you get, those moments really matter. Like those moments.
Of course, it's experiential. Jay, we were talking on the phone this morning about it. It's like, how do you want your experience to be? Like you can have X, Y, and Z, but you have to go through the process of doing it, and you have to do it on a day-to-day basis. So what do you want that to be? What do you want your life experience to be? And I know what you mean. I mean, I lived in New York for over 20 years, and I keep threatening that once my older kids graduate high school, I'm going to move back. And I think that's what I will do because of that very thing you talked about, whether it's walking to the park, walking to whatever. I mean, that kind of
it's
stuff.
It's very inspirational.
Yeah, it fills you up, right? Like it fills your soul, if you will.
And it sounds like cheesy, but like, or very celebrity, but like at the risk of this, I have to be, I think because I'm from the countryside, I have to be like that park saves me.
Yeah.
It's right there and it saves me every day. Like I don't think I could live in the concrete jungle without that park. Like I literally read a whole book on Frederick Law Olmsted who created it. Like I'm very into like landscaping and very into like just making sure we don't forget like what that feels like to go outside and see trees and flowers and
well, I did when I was doing the play last summer. I would walk. Sometimes I'd walk
from your front door to the Escalade.
Yeah, I was exhausted.
I was exhausted.
Jason, can we make an announcement right now, Jay? Can we? This is that
Will
NBC,
and I are pregnant. Will and I are
wow!
pregnant.
Not that. I didn't want to let that.
Congratulations.
Thanks, guys.
The NBC. Jason Bateman is open to your offer of working for you at 30 Rock on a daily basis.
You need like an Ed McMahon.
Come to him.
Sort of
call Alina Kashishi.
Would you, this is a real question. Would you, because I'm not bullshitting you, I really do listen. I was, even with my sister and I, we were listening to like 2 a.m. last night. I think the Kevin Hart one and Emma Stone. We were listening to a bunch of them. Anyway, and would you ever, because I noticed with the Kevin Hart one, you're in front of an audience and then y'all toured it as well. So would you ever do it as like a
TV show?
Talk show, like a TV show?
I've thought about it, but I think it would be more full time than I think the three of us
Are willing
would
to.
Yeah, like right now, it's just it's an hour a week, and it's we're flexible with it, we're mobile with it. But yeah, if it was a structured studio and stuff, it would mean stopping some of the other things we're enjoying doing in addition to this right now.
Right.
But
Yeah.
Perfectly
And
said.
anybody who would want to have us on their platform to do that would have to make an offer to Aline Kashishian.
Will has a number,
And well, let's hear what it is. But
But I do think
sure.
that you can make that whatever you want because I didn't know what a talk show was. Like I didn't really know I didn't know this world. I'm an artist. I'm never even awake for daytime television. This is not generally my world. So, I think you had so much success with it, and obviously just in your careers separately. But I think that's the cool thing about it is that you wouldn't have to commit to more than what you wanted to commit to. You're at that level to where maybe you do it in a different way. Like
Right.
I don't know. I think what you're doing. This is incredible. I also understand like that is pretty cool because you do give up. Something has to give. Like even with my music career, I'm not able to do everything because I'm doing the talk show.
But there's also a plus in that for me. That's why it's so tempting. Like I love routine. I would love to have
Me too.
that stage across from Jimmy's, and you have the pattern that you walk home every day through the park. Like I love
a routine. I flourish in a routine.
But also, you also having that, as you know, because of what we do, sometimes you have like a million things happening at once. And again, not a complaint. Like you have the
I do too.
privilege of having a million things. But when you get to work on one thing all the time, and you can't. You're like, sorry, I can't. I'm just doing this thing, and there's something really satisfying about that.
Is,
having those moments. Sean, you did it for years on Will and Grace.
Yeah, it was nice.
Where you're like, I'm just doing this right now, and I don't have the time to be spread thin.
For sure.
Right.
Because I'm just doing this.
I know that you've answered this question probably a billion times. I've never heard the answer.
Taurus.
That's why I'm going to be the
Capricorn.
tool. I am a Taurus as well. No, why? Because you all have such amazing careers separate from one another, such different careers as well. Obviously actors, but just different. And what made you all three do this? Like whose idea was this?
Will's originally, and then Sean and I kind of schnored in on it and changed what Will's concept and premise was going to be.
Yeah.
And then it just became, let's just kind of hang out and chit chat during COVID because we can't see each other.
We had no idea. We
I didn't know the answer to that. Sorry, you've probably answered it a billion times.
No, it's not that. It's not particularly. We literally were like, oh, let's just do it, and then the week. The world shut down on the Friday of March 13th of 2020, and we had a meeting on the Tuesday before, like 4 days before. Or 3 days before.
Yeah, Sean's real smart dude, Michael Grant Terry, put some form to it and presented to us. Well, guys, just so you know, this is what it could be, and this is what it's not. So don't think it's going to be a big, huge time suck, and there's some work here, but like he just basically put it in adult terms for us.
And we paid for it. Like we put it up on its feet on our own. I mean, it wasn't a lot, but we did that, and that's how it started.
I think that's why, though, because it was so organic. I think, a lot of horrible things happened because of COVID, but a lot of really incredible things happened out of COVID.
And it was just an excuse to see each other,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it became like this really great, a lot of feedback we got, especially at that time from people was like, hey, it was great to be able to listen during COVID. And truthfully, it was great for us to be able to do it during COVID.
It was good for me to work through that as well. I worked my whole TV show the whole time.
Right, and being
in
able
the
to
mountains in snow,
and being able to call people in that you're really interested to talk to, kind of unapologetically. You're not like tapping them on the shoulder, like, "Excuse me, Mrs. Such and Such, I'd love to ask you a question." Well, no, we have a format for that with this, and it's such a luxury to be able to talk to these heroes that we have. I'm sure you feel the same way on your show.
Yeah, I do.
You just say to your gang, your producers, like, "Hey, would you reach out to such and such, see if they'd be interested in coming on the show?"
She's in a gang?
Yeah.
No, I'm telling that just happened to me with Cher. I was like, and Alanis was on this season. Like a lot of people that I adore. They're always going to be probably more the musical ones that come on just because I have a little bit more depth with them as far as their career and catalog and stuff. But yeah, I feel the same way. It's the coolest thing to be able to just sit and chat with your people that you look up to.
Well, you're killing it. You really are. You've killed it in everything you've done. You're such a sort of real.
Say lovely.
Yeah,
Lovely.
and
Lovely.
lovely
Yeah.
person.
Loverly.
I could hear you talk all day long. I could hear you sing all day
I agree.
long.
I agree.
I love it.
Yeah.
You're nice.
You're
I don't leave
tip-top.
voicemails because of my talking voice.
I just want to belt out all your songs to you because I just love I love
know.
belting out your songs the way it's just so good. We have taken up way too much of your time. God, you're
Yeah,
busy.
this is too much.
Get back to your incredibly successful talk show. We wish you nothing but the best. Thank you for being here and blessing us with you, and thank you for your talent and everything you've done and just
all your
continued
loveliness.
success.
Yeah, you're awesome.
No, thank you guys for having me. I know I've listened to the show, so I like to be in the same category as a lot of the people that you interview is very cool. So thank you very much for having
Well,
me.
you're just
Yeah. And you make, like, honestly, just like cutting through the bullshit and just being through yourself, it's so refreshing to listen to, and it's fun, and it's, I don't, you know how y'all were
good.
saying people look at me, I look at y'all the same way. So I think it's very,
Very
refreshing
nice
for
of you.
people.
Thanks,
Yeah.
my
nice
boy.
for
Thank
people
you,
to
honey.
see this version of Sean for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
I love Sean.
I love Kelly.
Not
No,
more
you
than me.
made
I
this
love
real
Sean.
easy. Thank you, Kelly.
Yeah,
All
Kelly,
right.
thank you. So much success. Congratulations, and wish you nothing but the best.
Yes.
Now, y'all have a good 2024, y'all.
You too.
You
Bye.
too. See you later.
Bye.
Bye, Kelly. What a terrible guest, Will. You know, somebody that just doesn't know how to,
you're kidding. Oh, you're kidding. You're kidding.
be friendly or respond to questions.
I know she's so. I love this, Sean. You started in the right way, which is you put it in such a great way, which is like, yeah, she feels very much like
ours.
like ours,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and she is the American Idol.
Yeah. She's America.
She's the American.
She represents
Yeah.
all sides of America. I think. Truly.
I honestly felt like I could fire up a friendship with her tomorrow that would
Yeah.
last 40 years,
Well, when
Yes.
you're doing your talk show across the hall from her, Jason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just do that.
or maybe combined with her.
What?
Isn't it amazing?
Kelly and Jason.
Is
From
isn't-
from
isn't-
Jason to Kelly.
from Jason.
That was the name of
That's
her movie.
good. That's right. From Justin. to
From
Kelly.
Justin to Kelly. That was the name
Really?
of her movie. Yeah.
That's
God,
not.
and people
that'll
call
be
me
the
Justin
sequel.
all the time.
Oh, they
That's
do call you. Oh,
sweet.
that's interesting. You'll be from Justin to Kelly. Oh my God, we can
Hold
do
on,
it. The
I'll
posters
come
already
on
exist. We
page.
already have all the outdoor ads.
But isn't it amazing? We know all of her songs. Like, it's so rare. Like, everybody knows all her
I
songs.
know.
What's that song that goes, bye, bye, black sheep, blackbird?
Yeah.
Fuck, man.
Jason,
Hey.
let's get out of here.
Fuck, that was so fucking sweaty. Fucking lather up,
No,
everybody.
you're thinking about that NSYNC song.
Yeah, how's it go?
Bye, bye,
bye.
Bye, 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 bye.
SmartLess is 100% organic and artisanally handcrafted by Rob Armjarv, Bennett Barbaco, and Michael Granteri.
SmartLess.